We got Margie Loves here who says, both covered in blood, Toni draped over Mariah with the ends floating over them. How is that not your main event after a 2-year build and in LA? By the way, that was one of the questions I had last night. Have we ever had a women's main event for a PLE? I mean, sorry, pay-per-view in AEW? Someone here, I know Sheldon Jackson's out there. Please let us know in the comments, because I was thinking about this and I'm like, this would have been the night.
Yeah, I think the biggest one was just the Toni and Mariah one at Grand Slam, but that's a TV main event at this point. I don't think there's ever been an AEW main event pay-per-view where the big shows.
Saying no. Yeah, I was wondering because I think I had confused some of the like higher profile.
They've had some high-profile TV matches.
Right, and in my mind, I'm like, you know, it's all a blur at this point. But no, that was one of the things.
This was the time.
This is one of the things where we do have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
We always say, if the story is hot enough, that should be the main event, right?
Yeah.
And I also get the argument of it's the AEW
World Championship. I love that argument.
1000% get that, because I also agree with that.
I'm with it.
I think, and I feel that's why they did give this the main event at AEW Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And that's why I knew this wasn't going to main event.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, it already main evented there, so I know it's not going to main event Revolution.
Yeah.
But I do think in hindsight,
we should have had 2. This should have been the main. There was just way too many people saying this should be the main event going into the show. I was talking to people during the show that were like, this should be the main event. It was just across the board.
What's scary is that if Toni Storm and Mariah were not the ones to main event an AEW pay-per-view, after the story that they have told, after the fan base that they have gained through it, the amount of social media interactions they're posting, tweets,
don't say it.
Who is ever going to get that spot? I mean, I'm thinking Mercedes will eventually do it, but if it's not a hot enough story, it's not going. There's going to be the argument of like,
how hot do you have to be? Is the thing. I've seen people online saying this is the greatest story in AEW history, not just women, all across the board. This is the greatest story. Toni and Mariah, they've told the best thing. They've done it. If you can't get the main event off of this, how could you ever?
And it's Women's History Month.
Oh, damn it.
But on the bright side, do you know, I feel like as a woman, to go away at the end of the night knowing that it's my match versus the match that one of the greatest pro wrestlers ever, Will Ospreay, and Kyle Fletcher, and that people are saying their favorite match is either mine or theirs.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
The proudness that I would feel, like my chin would be so high.
Denise, people are saying this is the greatest pay-per-view of all time. Like, imagine having that honor. Like, oh, people are saying this is the best pay-per-view of all time, and they're saying my match is the best match. That's insane.
I just hope that this is an eye-opener for everybody in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That when women are allowed to tell the stories, when we are given the proper time, the everything, there could be a lot of magic made.
That's a fact.
A lot of buzz. And what do you guys want for your promotions? Buzz.
Buzz.
Buzz, buzz, buzz. That's all we want.
And it's so funny, like, this was the most time they should have ever did it. There's a movie that just came out that Toni Storm is in. They had to
they're in Hollywood.
They're in Hollywood, you guys. You couldn't write a better script. Pun intended, dog. What the hell are y'all doing?
All right, and since we're on the topic already, let's talk about that match. Toni Storm and Mariah May, baby. Oh my God. So I had seen when they were setting up the stage that they had like the champagne bottles and the posters and all of these things. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to get a really good view here. This was just so brutal. Oh my God, Toni Storm, the way she bled, I've never seen that kind of bleeding on a woman before.
Oh my God.
And there was a moment where they had a camera shot on her and you could literally see, it was like if someone pressed a button and she just went.
When she was like on the ring steps and she like, you could see in her face being like, oh shit, this is a lot of blood. I was like, yo, that's a lot of blood. Like it was gushing all over her. It was crazy.
It was massive. And there were so many freaking cool moments in this. Luther being thrown into the champagne table.
Hilarious.
Mariah, was it Mariah or Toni who threw off the stage? Right early. I think was it Toni to Mariah, I think.
Mariah, yeah, Toni to Mariah.
The spot off the stage, going back and then going into the ring, and they had literally so many freaking weapons. I mean, they did the tape
turn into a Taipei death match with the broken glass over the tape. Yeah,
everything. I mean, this was just a steel step spot.
She hit a champagne bottle on Tony's cooch. I think this may be the word for it. Like, this was violent. Like, they got the glass out like people do thumbtack spots, and they're doing spots on that. Both of them, eventually Mariah's bloody too, so it's just two bloody people. Just that moment right there where they both have the fists taped up and they're swinging at each other, and then she eventually makes the connection, and you could just feel like it just felt nasty in the building. These women were out for blood, as you could see, and they were trying to really put the final stamp on it. And there were so many spots that could have ended the match. Like, I bet on a couple of moments where I was like, oh, Mariah might do this, you guys.
Yes,
maybe we were wrong.
Yes.
But we were not wrong. I think, like, Toni Storm was not losing this match, Denise. Like, she came in with so much momentum. She came in with so much fanfare. Like, the crowd was so hot for when her theme hit. People were like going crazy. And then they go out there and they have this like generational life-changing style match. And shout out to AEW women for any time they get a street fight, it's just the women's match. Like, they just like they like just call it a street fight, and it's going to be the craziest shit you ever seen.
One of the things I have said in the past on our AEW show is that my favorite version of Mariah May is when she gets violent, when she gets mean.
They brought out the shoe too.
Oh my God, when they revealed the shoe, you know what this reminded me? Like the most edgiest Cinderella ever. Like Cinderella was like, damn girl, you own the shoe now. That was it was magnificent.
Yeah.
And what I loved most about it was that right now we are having the conversation of they fucking killed it. They should have been the main event.
Destroyed
they were amazing. What a way to end a feud. You know, I had interviewed Mariah and she even said, oh, I want Toni Storm to die.
Dude.
And at first I thought, oh, maybe she just really used strong words. After the performance, I'm like, yo, she really wanted her to die. Right. And I thought that's amazing because I would have never thought that they were going to go all out. But what I love about this is that people are having this conversation, talking about how great it was, because there have been other times in AEW history where the women have gotten violent. And what has been the conversation on social media? It's been like, oh, well, are women doing this? Like, should they be getting that violent?
It's too much. Why are they bloody? Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we are not, at least that I know of, not having that conversation.
No.
Instead, people are saying, wow, that was incredible. Wow, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so already either they just did a hell of a job, or we're starting to see people accept this as more of a norm, because again, it's not every day you see women in, American wrestling and the top promotions get this kind of violence and this kind of blood and this kind of mean and nasty.
Yeah.
And it's done so freaking well. When I was watching this, I just thought, hell freaking yeah. Because for the longest time, you're only really used to seeing the men do it like that.
Totally. There's two specific moments where I was like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. That overhead shot, Denise, that you posted.
Oh my God. I posted
Tony's
it on Twitter.
Bloody. She's dead. It's carnage around here. That shit, when they showed it on the screen, I was like, this is insane. Like, this is like I said, a generational style performance. And the shot that I think most people have been showing at the end, they do there it is. Just like, there it is. Just like that shot and the carnage and what's going on. But I think better than that is at the end, Toni hits her with the pile driver. They're on stage. There's another overhead shot of both of them dead. There's the table. It's the final Hollywood ending. I was like, if the show would have ended like that, Denise,
credits with the end.
If we would have been walking out with the fucking end credits, Denise, imagine how different this topic today would be.
1000%. And by the way, that tweet that I posted of that visual we're talking about with Toni laid out there with the glass and thumbtacks and God knows what else, this has nearly 1,000 retweets,
Crazy.
11,000 likes, 500,000 views, nearly 1,000 bookmarks, 245 comments.
That's crazy.
And that was
That's just that little clip.
This one I think got the most like retweets out of like anything. Wow. Followed very, very closely by some more items.
Osprey?
Another video that I posted of Toni Storm.
That one. That's the one.
Bleeding like crazy.
The big bleeder.
And
she's
then
on the ring steps.
also I posted the finish to the match at the top of the cage. That one also did really big numbers. Where
These
she's
women
like
are over
stabbing
too.
her
Like it's not for nothing.
Yes, stabbing her. The only other match that did that kind of retweets and nothing out retweeted, the Spanish Fly didn't get that many retweets. It did get more views, but not that many retweets in comparison to the Toni Storm visual. But the other thing was literally Kyle and Will Ospreay. But
unreal.
An amazing match. Honestly, I just want to say shout out to Toni Storm and Mariah May. Those girls.
Beautiful work.
Fucking killed it.
That's what pro wrestling is all about, honestly. Like in the history books, that match, this feud, all of this is going to go in there. Women are going to be inspired off this for generations, saying, I'm in the business because of what Toni Storm and Mariah May did. And that's bigger than anything. You ladies are the best. Amazing.
Let's go. All right. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says AEW has never had a ladies main event on a pay-per-view. The closest we got was it Double or Nothing last year with a triple main event, including Mercedes versus Willow for the TBS title, Christian versus Swerve, and Anarchy in the arena. Thank you. See, I told you Sheldon would have our backs on this. I knew it.
Appreciate it, Sheldon. We need these things, you know?
We're stupid.
Man, can't remember. Wait, what happened on the show last night?
What's my name again? What's my name? It's Lisa, bitch.
Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Shout out to Lisa.
Margie Love here says, hopefully this match changes the way bookers, owners work, make the systemic change we need in women's wrestling.
Probably not.
No, because I wish that was the case, but how many times haven't we seen great women's storytelling?
We've seen so many great matches throughout these years now where we're like, this is going to change everything, and it doesn't.
Does not. We have to continue fighting the uphill battle.
We got to fight it. We got to make sure they know that match should have been the main event.